Yo, what's up everyone? A lot of people are asking for a guide on how to play White Tigress, so here it is. As most of you know, I took my 7 star up to rank 3 and she's one of my favourite champs in game. I think she's hella underrated, but I won't talk about that too much in this video because I've already talked about it to death. If you want to see some rank 3 White Tiger gameplay, I have a battleground showcase out on my channel and I have a story content showcase out on my channel, so go check them out if you want to see the rank 3 gameplay. Okay, so first thing you need to know about White Tiger is when you dash in, you will gain a precision passive granting you 3900 extra critical rating. This is really important because of course when you crit you're going to do a lot more damage than when you don't crit on your basic attacks and on your special attacks. You want to have this precision active as much as possible. The best way to gain it is by intercepting, but you have to medium intercept. If you light intercept you will not gain a precision passive. But you can also punish a special attack to gain this precision passive, or you can bait out a heavy attack then dash back and dash in to gain this precision passive. This precision lasts 2 seconds, but it will be paused during your special attacks. Try and have this precision active as much as possible, but don't play risky to the point where you get hit, where you're going for risky intercepts, because at that point it's not worth it. But try and have it active as much as possible. Now let's talk about White Tiger's power gain. She has 70% reduced combat power rate. This is the power you gain from hitting your opponent. It's reduced by 70%, but this is because she gains 50% of the power what your opponent is gaining. So she's basically always siphoning power off your opponent. For each fury buff White Tiger has, she can gain 5 fury buffs. She will power steal 1% of the opponent's power on each hit of her special attack, and she will gain 200% of the power stolen. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but like I said, you can gain up to 5 fury, so it's not really 1%, it's more like 5% when you're ramped up at least. And her special attacks do have a lot of hits in them, especially the SB2, so you do steal a lot of power. This isn't really relevant though, to be honest, so I'm not going to go too in depth with this. All you need to know is the way her power steal works. White Tiger's power steal only works once every 2 specials. So for example, I use a special attack at the start of the match, I'll have power steal for that, but my second special attack, the power steal will be on cooldown. Then on my third special attack, the power steal will come back. On my fourth special attack, the power steal will go on cooldown again, so on, so on. You get the picture. White Tiger's special 1 will grant 2 fury buffs. White Tiger's special 2 will only grant 1 fury buff. Her special 3 is irrelevant. Off her special 2, she will apply a bleed. When this bleed expires, it will nullify any regeneration buff on your opponent. This isn't too important and it doesn't come into use too often, but it is handy. On White Tiger's ending combos, so a medium ending combo or a light attack ending combo, she will nullify any energize or power gain buffs. This is actually pretty useful for champs like Hyperion and especially Serpent, who is one of the toughest defenders in game, and White Tiger is pretty much a hard counter. In my rank 3 wigra battleground showcase, I showed her smoking a rank 3 Serpent. She's one of the best counters for him, but anyway, this is besides the point. For each buff on the opponent, White Tiger has a 20% chance to purify any damaging debuff of herself. This isn't really too useful, it hasn't come into use for me yet, but it's worth mentioning still. Now you can put any relic on White Tiger, it doesn't matter too much to be honest, but the Ghost Rider relic is the best one just because it has the vicious passive. This will increase White Tiger's bleed damage, but it isn't mandatory because most of White Tiger's damage comes from her basic attacks and special attacks anyway. But the Ghost Rider relic is pretty nice for her. So that's pretty much all of White Tiger's abilities. I'll show you her rotation now. The way I like to start the match is I will combo my opponent until they are just under 1 bar of power, and then I will go for my precision, whether that's through an intercept or whether that's through any of the other ways. I will use my SB1 whilst my precision is still active, so I can gain the full benefit of that critical rating and get off my first SB1. Then I'm going to throw my next special one. Then I'm going to bait out my opponent's special attack. Now I'm going to race to my special 2 without baiting out any more special attacks. Then when I get close to my special 2, I'm going to use my relic, dash back, dash in to gain that precision passive, and use my SB2. This SB2 will power steal so much power of the opponent, and it will push you to another special 2. This second special 2 will be unblockable, so you can just straight up throw it straight away, no messing around. This will kill any battleground size health pool. If you're questing, after you've done SB1, SB1, SB2, SB2, just keep recycling your special 2s. This will be much easier with the gladiator synergy as well if you have that, because your power steal will have a 50% chance to not go on cooldown, which is an insane synergy, but it's really not needed in battlegrounds, because by the time you've done her rotation, any opponent is dead, even Sasquatch, which is the biggest health pool in game. Few last details before I end the video. White Tiger is nullify immune, so she is a great counter to most Mystic champions because she is nullify immune and they cannot nullify her buffs. She doesn't trigger MD because her fury buffs refresh with each special attack, so they never fall off and trigger MD. But even if you do trigger MD, you have her massive power still, so it doesn't really matter too much. But as long as you're playing her properly, she's nullify immune and her fury buffs will never expire, so she is great against Mystic champions. Just don't use her against Rintra because she does not counter neutralize. A common misconception with White Tiger is that she is bleed reliant. Most of her damage, like I mentioned earlier, comes from her special attacks and basic attacks, so don't be afraid to use White Tiger against bleed immune champs. If you want to see White Tiger's best matchups, like I said, go check out the rank 3 White Tiger Battleground Showcase. The bleed of the SB2 does have some cool utility though. Whilst this bleed is active, your opponent cannot regen any health, and any health they would regen would be siphoned back to White Tiger. This makes her really OP against champions like Sasquatch and Weapon X, because if you mess up and get hit in those fights, you can heal from like 70% to 100% real quick as long as you get that SB2 off whilst they're regening. I've done these matches before. I've fought a Sasquatch and messed up and lost like 30% health, but after I got my special 2 off, got that bleed on Sasquatch, I stole all his healing and healed right back up to 100% health. So this can be very useful in some situations. White Tiger doesn't need dupe, as you can probably tell, because I rank 3'd mine unawakened, but her dupe is pretty decent. It's definitely not needed, but it's decent. At the start of the match, White Tiger will inflict a fear passive for 6 to 20 seconds depending on the sig level. What this does is it reduces unblockable ability accuracy by 100%, so your opponent cannot do any unblockable attacks whilst this fear passive is active. It's actually really nice, but it only lasts up to 20 seconds at the start of the match, so it's not the most useful. And when either White Tiger or her opponent falls below 15% health, White Tiger will gain a power gain buff, granting 100% of her power over 2 to 6 seconds depending on the sig level. This is a really nice ability, but you're going to kill any opponent in Battlegrounds with White Tiger's normal rotation, so it's just unnecessary, it's just extra. Definitely rank your White Tigers if she's unawakened, rank her if she's awakened. She's a great champ either way. But that's the end of the video. Guides definitely aren't my favourite content to make, but a lot of people were asking for this White Tiger guide, so I put it out there so people know how to use her properly. If you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe, and let me know if you want more guide videos like this. There won't be many, there won't be too often. I won't be making guides every day, every week, but I will make the occasional guide here and there if it's wanted. So yeah, see you all next video.